right, Tanner, we're live.
All
Look at
right.
that. Hey guys, what's going on? James here. I know it's late, it's 2 a.m., but in today's live stream talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I am joined today by Tanner Suarez, which, if you guys don't know, is the future of Tampa Bay sports writing. Okay, me and Tanner have a long history together. We went to high school together for many, many, many years. He was
That's
one
right.
of my first friends who was a Bucs fan. I've told you guys many times on this YouTube channel, one of the reasons I started this was because a lot of my friends were not Bucs fans. Tanner was one of the only ones. In
That's
my yearbook, I left my Tampa Bay Buccaneers fanship to Tanner Suarez. Never
right.
forget that, okay? So Tanner, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me on. I'm really excited. Been wanting to do this forever, and I'm very proud to see how well this channel is doing. Um, it was always great talking about the Bucks in high school, and I'm excited we're picking it back up.
That's what I'm saying, man. Again, I love having you on. I love you being here. Again, we have a long history together as Bucs fans. We've been through what was it? Whenever we were in school, obviously this is I have a lot of fans who are gonna say, "Oh, you guys are children,"
Yeah.
But we were together for the whole Freeman era, and then right at the start of the Winston era,
Yeah.
we were there for. Um,
Definitely some ups and downs.
so yeah, definitely some ups and downs. But now we're here, few years later,
That's right.
and now your position right now is you are an intern currently for Fox 13 Sports, correct?
That is correct. I am the sports intern for Fox 13, and I'm loving that.
Okay.
So we already saw each other at training camp. That was
Yes.
good.
Yep, this is true. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about what you do right now for Fox 13?
So right now, I don't usually do on-air stuff. I'm more of a behind the scenes. So I will, like, when we're interviewing players, I'll hold the mic, hold the camera, I'll set up the tripods and all that. And then once we have the audio, I've been editing,
Mm-hmm.
been writing some scripts, um, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting to experience the whole thing.
I gotcha. I gotcha. That's crazy, man. So like you've literally been doing a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything, yeah. And I gotta say, there isn't much that I haven't liked. It's really just, I mean, I feel really lucky to do it, and it's definitely what I want to do.
Yeah, man. I was gonna say it's one of those things where it's like you never get bored of it. You know what I mean?
Can't, there's no bad days.
Yeah. You're always enjoying it. You're always learning stuff. So
Absolutely.
again, guys, like I said, everybody watching right now, Tanner is the future of Tampa Bay sports. Dead serious, dead serious, guys. So Tanner, I want to go ahead. Obviously, me and you, we've been to a lot of the training camps up to this point. I think you've been to three, right?
Yeah, three so far, and then I'll get to go to all the ones coming up this week, this
Okay,
next.
so you're gonna be at a total of six. I think I'm going. I've been at five so far.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be going to a few more here coming up. So, just kind of real quick, I want to get your thoughts. First off, I want to get your thoughts on Bruce Arians and his coaching staff so far for your training camp experience.
Okay, so I'm very excited about the new coaching staff. I think the MVP of the coaching staff is going to be Todd Bowles.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I've noticed, and I'm sure you have too in camp, is Bruce on his golf cart. He'll watch Byron Leftwich. I know he's a rookie offensive coordinator. He'll kind of scan how that's doing, and then the defense. I mean, he doesn't really seem to watch too much. I think he has all the faith in the world that Todd Bowles will turn the defense around. Um, but yeah, I love BA. I think there's definitely going to be a shift in attitude on the team. Um, just starting off with the no music at training camp, I think that is an automatic sign that he's not going to have any sort of nonsense on the team. So I don't expect many fights or anything like that in training camp.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I'm really excited to see Byron Leftwich. I know he's going to be calling the plays. I'm really excited to see what he can do for Jameis. It's a different. I think Jameis, Dirk Cutter probably was like, obviously Jameis isn't going to say, I don't like Dirk Cutter or whatever, but I think,
Yeah. We all kind of know.
yeah, I
you
think
know.
now that Jameis has a quarterback or a former quarterback who's who's lived, Jameis's life and he knows what to expect. I think having someone like that in your ear, as opposed to just Dirk Cutter, I think that'll really help Jameis, and I think he'll have a much better year.
Hmm. I completely agree. When you look at what they're doing in training camp, you can tell that Todd Bowles, it's all left to him. It whatever,
Yeah.
and it's working. Obviously,
Oh yeah.
the defense is look.
Definitely one camp so far.
Yeah, the defense has just had a dramatic change
Absolutely.
in regards to what they've been able to do. And then Byron Leftwich, obviously Bruce Arians, he's said before on record, Byron Leftwich, he's probably going to be a future head coach in this league. So
Yeah, I agree.
I think it makes total sense that Bruce Arians, especially he's the quarterback whisperer. That's his moniker. It makes total sense for me that him and Byron Leftwich are both getting together. They're really focusing on Jameis, focusing on that quarterback room. What I've noticed a lot during training camp is BA is always around the quarterbacks.
Absolutely.
Him and Byron Leftwich are always there. Byron Leftwich, Jameis Winston, they're built very similar too. They're both around 6'5", both around mid 250 pound type guys.
Mm-hmm.
They're very similar built types of quarterbacks back whenever Byron Leftwich was playing. So I think that really helps out. And like what you said, the no music. I am such a strong supporter of that.
I like that. Yeah.
And I know it's like it doesn't sound like a big deal. Oh, it's no music. Who cares? It's who cares? But like the thing I've been really pounding the door on, the entire off season is about the no music thing. Is it helps so much more with the communication levels.
Absolutely.
Between the coaching staff and the players, because Bruce Arians said it himself a couple press conferences ago. These guys are him and his coaching staff are teachers. They want to teach these guys. If you have distractions out there like really loud music and stuff like that, that's going to be hard for you to teach your guys how to do their roles and how to do their job to the best of their abilities in this offense, in this defense. I think that this is the time to teach these guys, and I've heard the argument of, oh, it's helps simulate game time atmosphere and stuff like that, and I understand that to a certain degree, but that's what preseason games are for.
Right. There's a big difference between a actual crowd noise and some music playing. Like if you're relying on music at training camp to prepare you for the crowd noise, then it's not going to work out well for you. So I think, I totally agree. It's just a distraction that's completely gone now. As much as I like to hear the music, as a fan, I would rather my team be better off than me have a little bit more entertainment when I'm there.
Yeah, exactly. And the music's nice. As a fan, the music's nice. Me personally, I like it, the no music as a fan as well, because I get to talk more with the people sitting next to me, and I can go over and talk to you. And we, when we've both seen each other, I can go over and say, "Hey, man, what's up? How you doing? What do you think so far?" You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I can hear everything you're saying.
And another thing, like with the internship and all the guys who work for Fox, they're saying it's so much better because now you don't have to cipher out the music when you're making the highlights. You can just stream it right in. You don't have to worry about any cussing or anything like that in the music, and no copyright issues. So
exactly. Well, the cursing, according to BA, there's still some cursing going on.
Definitely still some cursing. It's just not music related now.
Yeah. The chat likes the no music as well, by the way.
Okay, glad to hear that.
I did want to get your opinion on some of this, because you've been to more of the closed practices, correct? You've been to a couple of closed practices? Yeah.
I was at the most recently the Women in Red one.
Okay.
So, I think you had to get tickets to that or something.
Okay, so I wanted to ask then, because in my experience so far, I know that Bruce Arians said coming in, put earmuffs on the kids. There's going to be some cursing. Have you heard a lot of that? Or no?
No, because Bruce kind of stays in the middle of the field. Mm-hmm. Like you said, he stays by the quarterbacks, and the quarterbacks aren't throwing on the sideline or anything where the fans are.
Okay.
So you can't really hear any of that. You can hear like the players yell. Like I'm sure there's definitely some words in there. Um, when Orion Stewart tore his ACL, that one was pretty easy to hear.
Hmm.
Um, I think there was actually videos on Twitter of
I
that.
I remember that. I
Yeah,
remember that because I was we were both there when that happened.
yeah, yeah. But other than that, no, I don't think like you need earmuffs or anything like that. I think you'd be all right.
Yeah, and I I wouldn't think it's obviously you shouldn't get mad about it. Like,
No,
oh, he promised us cursing. Why don't we
yeah,
have cursing? It's just a thing. You know what I mean? It's not a
right.
big deal.
No, not at all.
It's just an interesting observation to make. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
But moving past the coaching staff a little bit, and obviously their philosophy, we all know how good the coaching staff is, and we were all so happy whenever the coaching staff came along, right?
Yeah.
Did just to recap real quick, did you feel how strongly did you feel whenever the Buccaneers brought in Bruce Arians, given his history and his overall pedigree as a coach?
I think when I heard the first rumor that he was a candidate, that was the guy I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I know. I think we interviewed the defensive coordinator for the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs, Bellamy.
Yeah.
I liked that option too, but once Bruce Arians was a candidate, I wanted him the whole way. I was really excited. And then once Todd Bowles became the defensive coordinator, that's like another head coach pretty much on the staff.
Yeah.
I was really excited about that too.
Yeah, exactly. It's literally like the Bucs have two head coaches right now. Um,
Absolutely.
I mean, even technically three if you want to count Harold Goodwin as well.
Oh yeah.
Because he is the assistant coach right now, I believe, correct?
Yes, I believe so.
So him being the assistant coach, I think, is a really huge deal.
Mhm.
Obviously, having Todd Bowles there as well is another big deal as well. So I think the Buccaneers are in some really good hands in terms of the coaching staff and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
I do want to shift focus a little bit though from the coaching staff, kind of go to the players.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
um, so in terms of the offense and the defense so far for the camps you've been to, who have you
Mhm.
been most impressed with on the defensive side of the ball?
Defensive. I think Vernon Hargreaves is ready to contribute to the team. He looks healthy. The scheme definitely fits him, and I think we'll see a first round, a number one cornerback.
Mm-hmm.
I am I can't wait to see, on 3rd and 8, you're not going to have a guy playing 15 yards off the ball anymore.
Yeah.
So no more easy first downs. I think Devon White has been everything advertised. Actually, Booger McFarland was in the Fox 13 studio the other day, and he went to LSU also. So we asked him, what do you think about Devon White? And Booger actually said he thinks he'll be a Hall of Famer if he stays healthy throughout his career.
Wow.
Um, that made me really excited. He said he's the best middle linebacker he's ever seen come out of that school. And,
That's that's
there's
saying
Deion
something too.
Jones, there's Quan. So
Yeah.
that's a school that breeds some pretty solid linebackers. So I thought that was a really good compliment, and I got excited about that. Um, I'm excited for a full year of Vita Vea and Ndamukong Suh. Like
Yeah.
that's gonna be tough to run up the middle right there.
Absolutely. Especially
And,
given Vita Vea has looked so strong this
oh
training
yeah,
camp.
oh yeah,
I don't know. You've probably seen the videos on Twitter and on social. Well, you've seen it in person. He just massacres these offensive linemen
yeah. He
with
does.
the bull rush move. He just absolutely decimates these guys.
Yeah,
It's phenomenal. So like I think the young nucleus the Bucs defense is making right now is really starting to take shape. For is it Booger McFarland, right?
it's Booger. Yeah, I think
Okay.
his real name's Anthony, but he
Okay.
goes by
I
Booger. He,
never how to know how to say his first nickname if it's Booger or Booger or whatever. But
yeah, Booger.
um, for him to say that about Devin White's a really cool thing. Really something that shouldn't. He probably doesn't say that lightly. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um, and I think that's a really good thing to see. It's because Devin White so far has looked so athletic. He's looked so
absolutely.
fast, blitzing, run stopping. He's looked phenomenal. You know,
Yeah, Um, I think he'll also surprise a lot of people with how well he can cover tight ends and running backs out of the backfield.
Yeah.
Covering O.J. Howard every day in practice is only going to make him better.
Yeah.
That's about as big a tight end as you're going to see, big and fast.
Yeah.
So that's just going to make him better. So I think that'll be an underrated part of his game too.
Well, not even just O.J. Howard, too, because you'd say, would you say that O.J. Howard's top 5 tight end in the league?
Yeah, I would say, let's see, Kittle, Ertz, Kelsey, and then I'd probably put OJ 4 or 5.
Yeah. He's covering a top 5 tight end in the league. You can't forget about Barrot,
That too, yeah.
Braid's a top. I would say right now, if Braid could be a starter on a lot of teams.
Oh, absolutely.
And I would say he's probably a top half tight end. So even when he's not covering O.J. Howard, he's covering Cameron Brate, a top half tight end in the league, who's very, very good at catching the ball in his own right. So I think that this is helping O.J. Howard a lot in terms of covering the tight ends. And I think that obviously that was a knock on him coming out of college as well. His coverage ability is a little bit rough. That's definitely something that needs to be worked on. He's looked fine so far to me.
Yeah, a couple plays here and there, but yeah, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, nothing that makes you go, oh crap,
Yeah, he's not gonna get burned every play in a game.
Exactly.
So.
Him and Levante David are going to be absolutely disgusting in the middle of the field.
I agree.
And then exactly what you said about Vernon Hargreaves. To me, he's looked like the most impressive defender out there.
Yeah.
He's looked insane. I don't know if this streak is still going for him, but at least when I was attending, it looked like he almost had in some way, shape, or form, he was having one takeaway at training camp practice.
Right. I saw that he used that punch. He knocked that fumble out.
Was it on Rojo?
Yeah, I think it was on Rojo.
I think it was on the long run for Rojo, wasn't it? I believe.
Yeah.
So just him doing that, him getting interceptions. He's intercepted Jameis Winston, Blaine Gabbert. He's intercepting everybody basically. Hargreaves is looking like a legit corner, and I think that it just goes to show that if injuries wouldn't have put him out, he could have developed so much quicker.
Right.
And there, I think the statistic I had when I did the math was he's played in 33% of his possible games that he's been able to play in since he's been drafted.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
That's sad.
Yeah, that sucks. So really, if he stays healthy, he's looked like a legitimate number 1 corner.
Absolutely. To make it even sadder, all those games were under the Mike Smith defense. So
yeah, and even then, he was still making some plays, and it's like
he showed signs. He did.
Yeah, and it's so refreshing going from the Mike Smith defense to the Todd Bowles defense.
Oh, gosh, it's night and day.
And I've talked so much with people about what went wrong with the Mike Smith defense and all that. I think a lot of it had to do with communication. When you see Todd Bowles' defense and Casey Rogers, the defensive line coach, and all these other guys that are out there right now, how does the communication, how does the teaching look? Do the players get it? Do they look more comfortable than Mike Smith's defense? What do you see as a difference between those two coaching staffs?
Yeah, one thing you see is guys will call out plays at the line. They know what's coming, and they adjust accordingly. Like Devon White's a rookie, and you'll see him in first-team defense point out what to do. Same with Levante. So these guys are prepared. They know what's going on, which a lot of times, unfortunately, under Mike Smith, I think they had no idea what was coming, and it was kind of just a guessing game.
Mm-hmm.
I think the D-line stunts and all the blitzes like that, you obviously have to communicate well on those, and they definitely have so far. Another, really underrated linebacker who I think not only is going to make the team, but he'll contribute a lot is Jacques.
Yep.
If they use that guy on blitzes, he can fly around the outside. He can fly up the middle. I'm really excited to see him. I think he'll get a lot of reps in preseason. I think he'll make some plays.
I completely agree about the Jacques. The latest training camp that we were there, The inside one, I was at 6:30. It was at 6. It was from 6:30 to 9. Sitchy really looked good in that one.
Yeah,
As a blitzing middle linebacker, against the run, against the pass, him and Devon White looked great.
absolutely.
And when Jacques Sitchy was drafted, I think his big thing was his injury problems.
Yeah,
And I mean, obviously, he did tear his ACL last year, and that was a problem.
yeah.
And that was the knock on him coming out of college was the guy's got some injury problems. But if he would have stayed healthy, he could have been a third-round draft pick.
Oh, no doubt about it.
So I think that now that Sitchy, he's getting healthier, he's working on it, he's showing flashes of how good he can be in this Todd Bowles system,
Yeah.
And I'm definitely excited to see Sitchy. Obviously, Devon White, Levante David, they're kind of your first guys. Dayon Buchanan will probably rotate in there as well.
Yep.
But Jack Sitchy's going to make this roster, in my opinion. I think, like what you said, exactly like what you said. He's going to make some plays,
I think so too. If not on the defense, I mean, he'll be on special teams.
Yeah, exactly. Much to like what he was doing last year before he got hurt. He was making some plays on special team and stuff like that. So definitely for sure. Just real quick, looking at the chat here, Sean, thank you so much for having people hit that like button. I appreciate that, man. Donnie Suarez asks, do you think that the Buccaneers could have a top 15 defense by the end of the season?
Absolutely. Top 15. I think this team is capable of a top 10 defense even.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll see a lot more sacks. I think even the pressure when they don't get sacks, that'll cause turnovers. They'll still give up some yards, some big plays. I know they have a really young defensive backfield. But yeah, I think they're definitely capable. Will they? I don't know. I hope so. But to be capable, yeah, for sure.
I think it's definitely possible. We've all made the analysis of if the Buccaneers just had a non-historically bad defense the past 2 years, they could have really built upon that 9-7 year a couple years ago.
Most definitely.
But for one reason or another, we just happen to have a a near historically bad defense the past 2 years.
Yeah.
And it just sent everything to crap. So now I think that obviously there's a lot more balance between the offense and the defense in terms of good play. And that isn't to say that the offense is taking a step back, more as the defense is starting to catch up a little bit. And I think that now we're really going to see a more complete team. I saw a lot of people, and Anthony Davis asked the question of, I don't know if you saw it, Tanner, but Jacques Rogers just signed with the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, I did see that.
You're happy for him?
Absolutely.
He was asking what our thoughts were on that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he'll be a huge contributor. I mean, obviously Alvin Kamara is going to be the main factor in that offense with Michael Thomas. But Jacques was there every time we called his name. I liked Jacques. Obviously, he's not like a top 10 running back or anything like that. But, yeah, I mean, remember when, in Carolina not too long ago, he ran for over 100 yards. And then I think he had another 100-yard game against San Francisco a couple years ago, too.
Fozzie Whitaker? It might have been Fozzie Whitaker.
Oh, yeah, on the Panthers.
Yeah. Is that who you were talking about?
No. I'm talking about Jacques against Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were comparing him to a Carolina running back.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no. Quiz had a couple of good games.
Absolutely.
I've definitely seen a lot of people, because, a lot of people started to sour on Jacques after a couple years because he was one of Dirk's guys.
Yeah.
And how does he keep on getting a job? He's still pretty reliable. He's still a change of pace guy. So, He
had over 100 yards receiving last year against Washington.
Yeah. So, hey, I mean, you can't hate the guy for making money,
Not at all. Is he a starting running back? No, but I definitely don't have any sort of bad feelings towards Jacques Rogers. I think he was reliable when we needed him.
Yeah. Ian Frazier asked the question, Tanner, of who do we think will be the offensive and defensive MVP this year for the team?
Offensive, I'm not gonna give some crazy answer. I think it'll be Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Um, my dark horse pick would be Chris Godwin. I think he's gonna
Yeah.
blow up too.
Yeah.
But Mike Evans is every bit of a top 5 or 6 receiver in the league, and he has been nothing but consistent ever since we drafted him. I don't think that'll change too much.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Defensively, um, let's see.
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
There's some good guys on that defense now.
Yeah.
You got Sue, you got Vita Vea, you got Devon White, Levante, Vernon. That's a tough one.
I think it'll be for sure one of the linebackers.
Okay.
Either Devon White or Levante.
Okay.
I think it's a 3-4, so the linebackers are going to get a good majority of the tackles, and then on those blitzes they'll get some sacks. So I think statistic-wise, it'll be either White or Levante.
Okay. My picks very similar. Okay, I will say this: Mike Evans, top 5 wide receiver in this league, easily for me. I am a crusader for Mike Evans, top 5 wide receiver.
I'm with you.
I personally, I've seen people, a lot of the national media. It is what it is. It's whatever they want to do. But they put Mike Evans like 10th, 10th and 9th and stuff like that.
That's ridiculous.
I think he's top 5. I think he's better than Michael Thomas, who a lot of people say top 4, top 3 kind of guy. I think Evans is top 4.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, I would put him as the second best in the NFC South behind Julio.
Yeah, I was gonna say you think Julio, you think Antonio Brown, you think DeAndre Hopkins. Those are the 3 guys, in my opinion, that are better. Antonio Brown, you could even make a little bit of an argument of.
Yeah, we'll see how he does with Oakland. I don't think he'll be as good as when he was with Ben Roethlisberger, but that's just my opinion.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
But we will definitely see. For offensive MVP, I will say this for the Bucs. I want to say Jameis. I really want to say Jameis, and I know it's like, oh, James, you're being too optimistic. Da 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 da. Winston will be Winston. If Winston does as good as he did, and I believe 2016 it was, where he threw, I think it was almost 30 touchdowns. The picks were still a little bit up there, but they weren't too bad. He threw for over 4,000 yards.
Yeah.
We can't complain about that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So my pick right now is Jameis. If I had to pick defensively, man, I want to say Levante.
Yeah.
I want to say Levante because with this new Todd Bowles scheme, he's going to be blitzing a lot more to get the sack. And from what we've seen with Levante in the past, he can rush the pass. He can definitely rush the passer. And I think we're going to see a different side of Levante this year. One we haven't seen. I think his sack numbers are going to be up for sure.
Absolutely.
So for me, it's Jameis on offense, Levante David on defense. But there are a lot of good picks, for sure.
No doubt. And even just going through the list of who we could pick for defensive MVP, you realize how much talent on that defense there is.
Yeah.
Like, you got Sue, you got Vea. Carl Nassib is going to be a big factor.
Yeah, exactly.
Vernon Hargreaves. Like, this team's full of talent. The one thing I'm a little bit concerned about is if Justin Evans will be ready.
Yeah.
I think him and Whitehead are going to be a great safety duo when fully healthy. I really like Jordan Whitehead. I'm excited. I think he was second on the team in tackles last year.
He was.
As a rookie, so I think he has a pretty bright future. And then we've seen Justin Evans make plenty of plays. So
exactly. No, Jordan Whitehead. Him and Hargreaves have looked like the 2 best defensive backs out there.
Yeah. Whitehead flies around.
Yeah, he's looked so good. He's looked insane. And him and Evans, or even Whitehead and Mike Edwards, if Evans can't go. I think Mike Edwards has had his good moments, especially as a rookie. He's looked so comfortable.
Yeah.
So they've definitely looked good as well. Then Whitehead. I'm a big fan of Whitehead. Like what you said, I think he's somebody you definitely can't ignore on this defense for sure. And then Evans, it all just depends on how ready he can be and stuff like that. One question somebody else asked was Devon White Defensive Rookie of the Year. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think he definitely is capable of it. Another name I'd say right now his biggest competition is Quinnen Williams for the Jets. He has a fair shot at it, obviously. And then Nick Bosa. Ed Oliver's another good name. So it's definitely a competitive field, but I think Devin White's certainly capable of it. I think if he gets, let's say, 120 tackles, maybe 4 or 5 sacks and a few picks, I think that puts his name right up top in consideration.
Yeah, man. And again, Devin. I'm a firm believer. Devin White will win Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
and I've had some people say, James, let's wait a minute, and I'm like, hey, I'm jumping in, man. I'm jumping in, Bruce.
All aboard.
All aboard the Devin White offensive or Defensive Rookie of the Year train, man.
Absolutely, and he's looked so good in camp. You can't really find much bad about him.
Yeah, exactly, man. I could not agree more. Like he's looked better and better each practice.
Absolutely.
Another question that was asked here was. It was something about Shaq Barrett. Let me see. Okay, what role is Shaq Barrett playing? Does he have a starting job? In my opinion, yes. I think he'll have a starting job. I think he'll be a pass rushing linebacker for this team. What are your thoughts on Shaq Barrett so far?
Yeah, I agree. He'll definitely have a starting role on the team as one of the 4 linebackers. I think they'll use him just as much as they use Carl Nassib. I think they'll line up outside, probably be on the field at the same time a lot. Mm-hmm. And just like you saw him in Denver, I know he got his time cut when they drafted Shane Ray and all those guys. I think more playing time will be better for him. Mm-hmm. I do think it'll be a kind of rotational role for him. I wouldn't say like 50-50. I'd say he plays about 65-70% of the snaps. Because you can't forget, Noah Spence will probably make this team too. He looks great in this new defense. He's looked his best. This is his best camp he's ever had. Mm-hmm. So I think Spence will definitely make the team, and he'll probably play on third down. And I think Barrett will play most third downs too.
I will say for both those guys, I don't know if a couple months ago, I made 2 videos detailing their journeys from when they were born all the way to current day, basically. Spence and Barrett are my guys. I love them both so much. I'm fully on their bandwagons, and I'm not getting off until I am 100% proven otherwise. Like you said, Spence has had a phenomenal camp. For Barrett, he was one of even the national media was like, this is a really underrated signing with Barrett.
Yeah, I think it was $4 million we got him for this year.
Yeah, $4 or $5 million.
Yeah,
and even the national media was like, yeah, that's a phenomenal signing. That's a really underrated signing. So I think that he was pushed down the depth chart by one of the best pass rushing linebackers in the league and multiple first round picks.
The
guy's undrafted. So it's like, and every time he was given a chance in Denver, like what you said, he looked good. He looked really good.
He did. And you're not going to take reps away from Von Miller. You're not going to take reps away from Bradley Chubb.
Yeah.
So I think now that he has a place where, there's definitely high expectations, but he doesn't have to beat anyone out to the point where it's just like, forget it, I don't have a shot. Like he has a shot, he has a role, and I think he'll be a guy who makes the most of his opportunities and he'll flourish as a starter.
Yeah, exactly. I literally could. I'm excited about Shaq Barrett.
Yeah.
I could talk for hours about Shaq Barrett.
Yeah.
I want to focus real quick, Tanner. Kind of go back real quick. We talked about who you said has standed out to you on the defensive side of the ball. But before we answer a couple more questions, I want to ask you, who has stood out most to you on the offensive side of the ball for training camp so far?
Offensively, I really like Justin Watson. I'm on the Justin Watson bandwagon.
Okay.
I think we drafted him last year, right? We drafted him with a late round pick.
Fifth round pick last year, yes.
Yeah, okay. He's catching everything thrown to him, and I think it's a pretty crowded wide receiver group, but I think there's a spot for him for sure.
Absolutely.
Another guy who I've noticed is getting a lot of reps at probably the most questioned position on the offense, right guard. Alex Kappa is with the ones in most of the like groups.
Hmm.
So when you run the 11 on 11s, starters versus starters, Alex Kappa is your right guard right now. I think I'd almost prefer Earl Watford, honestly.
Yeah.
He's familiar with Bruce's offense,
Hmm.
and he's a veteran. And Kappa, he was only active 6 out of the 16 games last year,
Hmm.
and he didn't start any of them.
You know, it's
So he doesn't have a start under his belt. And Earl Watford is a guy who's played in, 40 to 50 games, and he's probably started a couple dozen.
yeah, yeah.
So he has experience. I'm not sure what they see in Kappa that they prefer over Watford, but I'm definitely interested to see where that goes.
I will say this about Kappa, because the chat's been asking about him.
Yeah,
Um, you know, last year with Dirk, I don't know if you noticed this, Tanner, but Dirk hated playing rookies.
yeah,
He just didn't do it. He didn't play Rojo. He didn't play Kappa. He didn't play Watson. He
yeah.
just didn't play his offensive rookies. And, Caleb Beninock was not good last year at right guard.
No,
Was not good, and that's being insanely nice.
yeah, very nice.
We'll be nice here and say that he just didn't play good. He's moving back to right tackle now.
Yeah,
Last year, I thought, for God's sake, just give Kappa a shot at right guard. Like,
oh, for sure.
you couldn't have gone worse,
Yeah,
But Dirk didn't do it. So I think now they're really relying on Kappa, former third round pick. They invested a
yeah,
high round pick in him. It's not like he's an undrafted guy or anything like that. So I think that they're really hoping that he's coming along now, and really improving on his overall progression, I guess you could say, at right guard. But I could totally understand in my opinion, I could totally understand your take on going for Watford. Knows Bruce, like you said, has been a starter in this league before. Very versatile guy.
very, yeah. He can
Bruce,
play any position on the O line.
yeah, exactly. So that's still one that, even though Kappa has been getting the first team reps, I don't think it's as set in stone
Right.
as people, may think it is. I think
Mhm.
that one's definitely still up in the air. I think that one's gonna get a little bit more flushed out as training camp goes on.
Yeah, and preseason will help determine that also.
Yeah,
And as much as it's undecided, if you ask me if I'd rather see the Alex Kappa Earl Watford experiment compared to the Caleb Beninock Evan Smith experiment from last year, I'm definitely going with Kappa and Watford.
yeah.
So I think it's definitely an upgrade. Just whoever starts, you can't get much worse. So
I
see how it goes.
I completely agree with that. So you said Kappa, you said Watson.
Yeah.
Who else has been impressing you?
The guy you just mentioned, Rojo.
Mhm.
I think you'll see a lot of third down reps for Rojo. He can. It looks like he can catch now. I know he struggled with catching the ball last preseason, even in regular season. But I haven't seen him drop a single pass yet.
Yeah.
Um, and I think we use him a lot more. A lot more. He'll get more than 40 yards rushing this year. And I'm a big Peyton Barber fan, so not to say that he'll take tons of reps away from Peyton Barber. I still think he'll be our workhorse, but I think Ronald Jones will be a productive running back for us.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Yeah,
Like what you said, Rojo, he's looked like a legitimate receiving option this year.
yeah,
And Peyton Barber has definitely looked good as a receiving back too.
yeah.
I'm very interested to see what they do with that running back position, because right now BA has gushed about both guys. He said
Yeah.
Peyton Barber, he's awesome, workhorse back, but then he'll go and he'll say Rojo, I'm excited to see what Rojo can do. And it's like, how are you going to, you can only split carries. You know what I mean? You can only give,
Right.
I'm very curious to see how they split the carries between those two. And you can't count out a guy like Andre Ellington either. He's
Yeah,
looked good
very familiar with the offense.
he's looked good in his own right.
Hmm.
So I'm definitely very curious to see. Again, I don't think anything's been super flushed out yet with that position, much like right guard. It's still a really intense battle going on right now. But
Yeah.
again, another one to totally keep an eye on. Somebody, Tanner, by the way, asked a question of who we thought was going to be the third running back. I want to get your take right now on that because there are a couple of guys. You have
Yeah.
Andre Ellington, Dare Ogunbowale, and you also have Bruce Anderson right now are those three guys.
Yeah. Dare, that last name.
Ogunbowale.
Yeah. I
I'm not good at pronouncing last names. That one took me a while. That's the only one I don't forget.
Yeah, I don't have his name in front of me. I could probably spell it out, but off the top of the head, I'll probably never get that name. So
Just call him Dare.
yeah, so Dare, I like him a lot. I think he's going to be our kick returner, if not Scotty Miller.
Hmm.
Um, I I don't know if I like him more than I like Andre Ellington.
Okay.
I think Andre Ellington does win the RB3 position, but I really don't want a guy like Dare to not make the team. I don't think we'll keep. I mean, we might keep 4 running backs. I don't know,
Hmm.
but it's definitely between those two. And I think Bruce Anderson's a guy we can sign to the practice squad and develop him a little bit more. I'm high on him too. I don't want us to lose him.
Yeah.
I think it's a good problem to have. I think there's 5 running backs right now on this team that could all make the team at some point.
Yeah. I completely agree. For me, I know you just said not sure if we're going to keep 4 running backs. I think the Bucs will because
Yeah.
I think Dare's been looking that good.
Yeah, Torres looked really good. Really good.
He surprised me, and it's funny. I had a I had a weird thought one day about Dare. I was talking to somebody about Dare Ogunbowale, and I don't know why I pictured this scenario in my head where it was like week 7 starting running backs Dare Ogunbowale, and he just like surpassed Rojo and Peyton Barber out of nowhere, and I was like, this is weird. I don't like.
Yeah.
I was like, what a weird scenario to think about. I don't think it's gonna happen,
No, I think that.
but I will say that Dare, when they asked Bruce about returning guys, and running backs and stuff like that, one of the first guys that he mentioned was Dare Ogunbowale about being a returner.
Yeah.
And he's mentioned Dare Ogunbowale in press conferences multiple times now, and I think that he's left a good impression on Todd McNair, the running backs coach, Bruce Arians, and Byron Leftwich. I think that the Buccaneers are going to carry 4 running backs, and I know Bruce Anderson, big fan favorite coming into training camp. I think you can sign him to the practice squad and be fine.
Right.
And I think that they will carry 4 running backs in my opinion.
Yeah.
Shifting now from kind of the backup running backs to the wide receiver position real quick. Somebody asked what our thoughts are on the rookie wide receivers.
Okay.
And Tanner, I don't know if you know this, but I looked it up. I didn't look it up. I counted.
Okay.
The Buccaneers currently, unless they made some moves, this, that, and the other, but at the start of training camp, they had 9 undrafted wide receivers.
Wow, I did not know that.
On the roster. And
That's a lot.
the 4th most experienced wide receiver on the roster right now, this actually stands, is Bobo Wilson. Bobo Wilson's career catches is 5.
Yep.
So the 4th most experienced wide receiver on this roster right now has 5 catches. Think about that. And but here's the thing. Here's the crazy part. They've looked good.
No, yeah, I agree.
That's the crazy part,
I agree.
So what are your thoughts on the rookie wide receivers up to this point? Your guys like Anthony Johnson, Xavier Ubosi, DeMarcus Lodge hasn't been playing too much. Spencer Schnell. I guess I wouldn't count Justin Watson as a rookie wide receiver.
No, yeah.
Bryant Mitchell. What are your thoughts on those guys? And Scotty Miller. Sorry, I forgot about Scotty Miller.
So let me answer a question with a question. How many receivers do you think they'll keep? Do you think they'll keep 5 or do you think they'll keep 6?
Me personally, I think they'll I'm really fluffing the numbers here. I don't know how I'll make this work in my roster. I don't know.
Remember, you gotta keep it to 53.
Yeah, like I don't know how I'm gonna make the 53-man roster predictions yet, but like I think they'll keep 6 wide receivers.
Okay. So I'll just say who I think will be the 6. So I think you got Evans, of course, Godwin, Justin Watson, Bobo Wilson, Scotty Miller will make the team.
Okay.
And then that 6th spot.
Yeah.
You know, you got Brashard Perryman, who we saw in the offseason. I think he'll probably be more like the number 3.
Right.
But do you keep one of those guys that are undrafted? Like, do you keep a Bryant Mitchell? Spencer Chanel, unfortunately, I don't think he'll make it. I think that we have too many receivers that are kind of like him. Like Scott Miller and him are pretty much identical players. And I think they'll keep a guy that they drafted rather than an undrafted one.
I get that.
Like you said, DeMarcus Lodge hasn't really practiced too much, which is hurting his chances. And then you said Xavier
Ebosi, I think is his name. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure if he's still on the roster. I'm pretty sure he is.
Okay.
But so you said Evans, Godwin.
I'll put Perryman in as the 3rd receiver. I think he'll be the 3rd receiver.
Okay, so Perryman, Watson, Scotty Miller, and then you're conflicted about that 6th wide receiver spot.
Yeah, I think it'll ultimately go to Bobo.
Okay.
Just because he has experience.
Okay.
But I don't know if they'll keep 6.
Yeah, I totally get that. I mean,
I don't think they'll keep 4 running backs and 6 receivers. I just don't see that happening. I think it'll be either 3 running backs and 6, or 5 running backs and 4, or 5 receivers and 4 running backs.
Yeah, I totally get that, especially with the offensive and defensive lines. You need a lot of bodies there as well, and the linebacking core. It'll be interesting. My thought process with it is Bruce is more of an offensive-minded head coach.
Yeah.
So I figured he might want couple more weapons. If the Buccaneers do keep 6 wide receivers, like I'm thinking, my guy is Bryant Mitchell. I say Mike Evans, Godwin, Perriman. Perriman's looked so impressive to me on offense. He's looked great. Justin Watson, Scotty Miller, Bryant Mitchell. Because Brian Mitchell's looked so good. He's been working with the ones a little bit. Obviously nothing crazy, but he's been catching passes from Jameis. And I think that's huge. And I think that means that they trust him to be out there with Jameis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now obviously they have been doing that. They could be doing that with other guys as well, and I just haven't noticed. But I think that definitely helps out Brian Mitchell's case a lot. Brian Mitchell is number 16, I believe, not 14.
Yeah, he's 16.
14?
I think 14 is one of the guys who's hurt.
Okay. Was it Ubosi or was it Lodge?
Lodge is 15.
Okay.
I think Ubosi might be 14.
Okay. So yeah, definitely. Cortrell Simpson is number 14. Sorry, I forgot to mention Cortrell Simpson. And then another thing is you can't count out a guy like Anthony Johnson either to make I think 2 of these guys will be on the practice squad.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a couple practice squad receivers, the names you just mentioned. Yeah. Because they're talented guys. It's another one of those good problems to have.
Yeah.
When you're deciding who makes the team,
Yeah, exactly. Deshaun Davis asked the question, how many defensive backs are we going to keep? What are your thoughts about that? So cornerbacks and safeties.
Yeah, I think they'll keep that to around 7 or 8.
Okay.
It's because, like you said, you need linemen. Like with the defensive and offensive linemen, I think that'll make up for a good majority of the team. So you got Hargreaves is a lock, Carlton Davis is a lock, Whitehead's a lock. That also depends on if Justin Evans is going to be ready to go. Yeah. If he's still on the PUP, that opens up another spot for another guy to make it.
Hmm.
So let's say let's say he's on the pup to start the year.
Okay.
So Mike Edwards is going to make it.
Okay.
I don't think they'll give up on MJ Stewart this early. That's a second-round pick from last year. And then this year's rookies, Sean Bunting will make it. I think they're pretty high on him.
And Jamel Dean.
Yep, he's another one who will make it. So I think that puts me at 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Dakota Dox has looked pretty nice.
A lot of Bucs fans are getting on that train.
He has looked pretty good, I gotta say.
Yeah.
He's making plays. And I know he had like the pick 6 against Jameis or whatever, and that one was like kind of his big moment. But other than that, he's flying around. He's making a lot of tackles, pass breakups.
Yeah.
He looks like a good safety and like an NFL safety.
Yeah. What I'm interested in with this defensive back group, and like you said, they could keep 7. I think they might keep more because there's so many draft picks.
Right. They've invested a lot into this defensive backfield. I
think because Hargreaves, former first-round pick, I think he stays. Carlton Davis and Sean Bunting, former second-round draft picks.
And MJ Stewart.
Yeah, and MJ Stewart, former second-round draft picks, all 3 of them. I think all 3 of them stay.
Yep.
And even MJ Stewart's been playing a little bit of nickel cornerback as of late. Jamel Dean, former third-round draft pick.
Yep.
I think he stays. You have Jordan Whitehead, former fourth-round draft pick. Mike Edwards, former third-round draft pick. Like I said. Justin Evans, former second-round draft pick. If he's on the pup, then, you have another spot there.
Yeah.
You can't count out guys like Isaiah Johnson. You can't count out guys like Devontae Harris, who I was a big fan of last year whenever we signed him from the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, he's a good depth player for sure.
Yeah, and even Ryan Smith. I know he's suspended, and that honestly might have killed his chances.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried for Ryan Smith.
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends on how we play the first 4 games. I think if the defense comes out and plays well, which honestly the first 4 games we should. You got games against the 49ers, the Panthers, the Giants, and then the Rams game's going to be tough. But in those first 4 games, I could very much see the defense being impressive and shining. And then when he's ready to come back, I don't know if there'll be a spot for him.
Yeah, I completely. And Bruce. Bruce always says, "Oh, yeah, we'll see."
Yeah, the one thing Smith has going for him is Bruce is a big second chance guy.
Yeah.
But if it's you're not gonna take a guy who's playing well off the team for a guy who's coming in off a suspension, who hasn't really done a whole lot in his career so far.
Yeah, I was going to say, even him in his own right, he's a former 4th-round draft pick.
Yeah.
You have so many draft picks invested in this secondary. It is a little bit hard to say who's going to stay and who's going to go. You would assume most of the former draft picks, even if they weren't Bruce's picks or Todd Bowles' picks, they were Jason Light's picks.
Yeah, and Jason Light he's a prideful guy. He's not gonna give up on a 2nd-round pick this early. You saw how long he kept Aguayo around.
Yeah, exactly.
Way too long.
And somebody said might as well cut Smith. It could definitely happen.
I could definitely see that happening. I agree with whoever said that. At this point, I don't like his chances of playing in a Bucs jersey again.
Yeah, it's pretty low. So we're gonna answer a few more questions here, Tanner. We're just about to get to the hour mark, and then we'll go ahead and head out of here. Adam Davis asked the question of, you're probably not going to this. Are you going to the London game?
I'm not going to the London game. I'm going to the one in Tennessee.
Okay.
And then all the home games.
Okay.
But unfortunately, do not have the funds to fly to England.
I saw it was like $3,000, I think, just for the tickets.
I would definitely love to go, but I cannot.
Yeah, I unfortunately won't be going to the London game. I thought I was, and then I actually looked it up, and I was like, I don't have $3,000 to spend on that. That's as much as a season ticket for a good season ticket.
Real good, yeah.
And then his second question was, what is his thoughts on the record for the Buccaneers season? And that's a tough one. That's a tough one
because I really, really want to be optimistic.
Let me tell you what I did.
Okay.
I said they were going to go 10-6.
Okay.
I said they were going to go 10-6. I had them splitting with, I think, everybody in the division.
Okay.
and I had them surprising a couple of teams. I can't remember if I had them beating the Seahawks or not, but I think I for sure had them beating the Texans.
Okay.
So I had them going 10-6, and I've seen other people say 7-9, 8-8, 9-7.
Yeah.
That's kind of been the general consensus. Obviously, you have 11-5, 12-4. If you ask the national media, they'd say 2 wins, 3 wins.
Yeah.
You know. So what are you thinking right now?
So I'm gonna try and be as realistic as possible. I don't want to say they're gonna go 13-3 and win a bunch of playoff games. I don't think they're there yet. I'm kind of like an 8-8 kind of guy.
Okay.
I think this isn't going to be the year, but next year I think they get into the playoffs as maybe a wild card. I think as long as Drew Brees is the quarterback of the Saints, I think the Saints are going to win the division. So we'd have to be a wild card spot.
8-8, you still get a wild card, you know?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, if the NFC, I think the Eagles were 9-7 last year and they got in.
Yeah.
So you never know what the NFC will do.
Yeah.
But I think I'm right in the middle there. I'm sort of an 8-8 type of guy.
I totally get that, man. I totally get that. I'll explain my reasoning for the 10-6.
Okay, sure.
Back in 2012, okay, the Arizona Cardinals went 5-11. They were not a good team. They had a revolving quarterback situation. They didn't have a solid running game. They didn't have a very good offensive weapon. I believe their defense was still okay to a certain degree, but it wasn't phenomenal under any circumstances.
Yeah.
And then in 2013, Bruce Arians came in.
Yeah.
In his first year with the Arizona Cardinals, 10-6.
There you go.
Was phenomenal. He brought in Carson Palmer. He brought in, I believe it was Rashad Mendenhall.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Rashad Mendenhall.
Yeah, because he was the offensive coordinator for the Steelers. Mendenhall was the running back for the Steelers, and I think he brought him with. I think you're correct there.
Correct. And him and Todd Bowles really turned around that defense as well. They had a top defense. They had a really good offense. And I see a similar situation with the Bucs, because that Arizona Cardinals team was way worse than what the Bucs team is now. Way worse. So I tend to lean towards more of the Bruce is going to come in, easy fix, you know? These guys are good. They just weren't being communicated well with. You know, I remember so many times last year, defenders would throw up their arms and go, what are we, what? You know, wait, what are we doing? Where do I go? I have not seen that once yet.
Right.
You know? So I think that's going to be a big difference maker here. And I think that we see a similar resurrection with Tampa Bay from 2018 to 2019 that we saw with the 2012-2013 Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I definitely hope you're correct in that. I would love to see it, and I definitely think it's possible. Certainly not out of the question that we go 10-6.
Yeah.
I just look at, I think the Rams is a loss. I think we split with each team in the division. We might drop 2 to the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we always play them really tough. I think we lose to the Seahawks. I think we lose to the Colts. And then we might surprise the Texans. I hope we do.
Mm-hmm.
But I could very much see them beating us also.
Yeah.
So that's my reason for more of the 8-8, maybe 9-7.
Yeah.
But I do think Bruce Arians is going to make the team a lot better.
Yeah, and you know, I obviously any improvement's good. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I remember how happy we all were at 9-7. We were dancing in the streets.
Yeah.
At 9-7, we didn't even make the playoffs, but we had a winning record, and we were like, "Oh my god, this
next
is the
year."
best.
Yeah, we were all like, "Next year, is going to be the year."
Yeah, and then obviously everything went to hell. But but you know, it's like if we go 8-8, go 9-7, obviously we shouldn't settle.
Yeah.
But God, it'll feel good to
will.
be improved. So 8-8, 9-7, 10-6, it's all improvement, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somebody did ask the question real quick, and this one's a bit of a bold take. A bit of a bold question is how do we think, or do we think that Jameis is a dark horse MVP candidate? in that one, me personally, I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
I think that Jameis will be good. I think he'll look a whole heck of a lot better. I think at the absolute most, he could have a Pro Bowl year, potentially.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he'd be in an MVP conversation.
Yeah. That's a dark horse.
Yeah, that would be... You're making a Vegas bet, that's like, you're making a Vegas bet and you're going to get a ton back on that Vegas bet. You know what I mean? Because the odds are against him.
It's not even that Jameis doesn't have the potential to be. I think you just got to look at, who else is in the league, like Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
All the good
Breeze,
running.
Mahomes, Breeze, you got Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady.
Exactly.
You got all those four guys alone.
Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley, Todd Gurley.
Right.
And usually the running backs, it usually goes to the quarterbacks, but there's just so many good quarterbacks in the league now. So I don't think it's not his time yet. Technically, I guess you could say he's a dark horse candidate, technically. But, but not yet,
Not yet. I think the league is just, there's too many, unfortunately, better players.
Mm-hmm.
Pro Bowl, possible. Team MVP, yeah. Mm-hmm. But MVP of the league, I don't see yet.
Yeah. He would have to hit another... He'd have to hit another atmosphere, man.
Yeah.
Cause Mahomes threw 50 touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
And Mahomes, oh my gosh,
I mean, if Jameis wins MVP, I will... Whoever that guy who asked that question is...
Let me see if I can... It was Deshaun Davis.
Deshaun.
So, Deshaun, if you're correct... I don't even know what I would do. I'll
take you out steak dinner on me, man.
There you go.
I feel very bad for just denying the greatness of your comment.
So, Deshaun, you're holding Tanner to it then.
Hold me to that.
Steak dinner, man.
Steak dinner if Jameis wins.
I would be surprised if Jameis threw 50 touchdowns. Again, I wouldn't know what to do. Even if he didn't win MVP. If Jameis Winston threw 50 touchdowns in a year, that'd be absolutely ridiculous. That'd be insanity.
If Jameis Winston throws 50 touchdowns, we're going to the playoffs. So, I hope he wins MVP.
I mean, we're definitely pulling for him,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I don't see any more questions hanging around here. It is getting late. It's 3 a.m. So,
I got to be up early for camp tomorrow.
Yeah, so there you have it. So, Tanner, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up here real quick. I want to thank you for being on here. Again, for everybody who might have joined late before I introduced Tanner, me and Tanner go way back. We went to high school together. Like I've explained to you guys many times before, and like I explained at the beginning of this live stream, I did not have a lot of friends who I talked to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers team with. A lot of my friends were not fans. Tanner was one of the only ones. When I graduated school, I left him my Tampa Bay Buccaneers fanship, or I left him to be in charge of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers fanship at our school. And now we're back here. We're doing a live stream a few years later. Again, Tanner is an intern at Fox 13 Sports, the future of sports writing in Tampa Bay. Okay, I cannot say that enough. Okay, Tanner is the future of sports writing here in Tampa Bay. Keep an eye out for him in the next few years. He's going to be writing articles for a lot of people. He's going to be making a lot of waves, so look out for him. Tanner, where can everybody find you on social media?
So I'm not a big social media guy. I actually started a Twitter now that I'm getting more into writing and stuff, and I'll probably post some articles soon. My Twitter handle, you're going to find me at TBTanner813.
Mm-hmm. I put it right here in the chat for you.
All right, I appreciate that. That's where I kind of just tweet everything Bucs, Rays, Lightning.
So there you go. And Tanner, before we head out here, again, I want to thank you so much for being on. I'm going to have you on a lot more as we get into the season, for the Buccaneers, as we have more training camps and stuff like that. But before we head off today, do you have any final words for the rest of training camp before going into the season or anything like that?
I just would expect a much better team than we've been seeing. I think we'll turn some heads for sure nationally. I think it'll give the fans something to be excited for. And I really appreciate you having me on, man. I'm so just proud of what this channel is doing. I mean, you're doing an awesome thing, and I definitely am excited to be on more often.
All right, well, there you have it, guys. So again, Tanner, thank you for being on, brother. I appreciate it. And for everybody who watched us talk for over an hour from 2 to 3 in the morning, thank you guys. You know, that takes a lot. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys all enjoyed. But until the next video or the next live stream, we will see you in the next one, guys. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.
Go Bucs, guys. Thank you.